Everybody, my name is Lars Christensen, and welcome to this live stream number 15, where we're going to talk about direct modeling. I call it Volume 1 because this could definitely be a topic that could get a little bit bigger doing other live streams if you guys desire. If you're watching this right now, that means that you are watching the recording. I haven't gotten anybody in the live stream yet. So if there's anything you would like to see, send me an email at lars.christensen@autodesk.com. You will find that down in the description area of this video here. And like I said, today we're going to talk a little bit about direct modeling because, well, I'm just back from vacation here. But before I went on vacation, there was a pretty big interest for talking a little bit about direct modeling. And I know that people are coming from kind of different areas, so I thought that it would be good to kind of like do almost like an intro into why would you use direct modeling, what does it mean, and all that stuff. And I can see we already got some people joining here. We got 7 people watching. Hey, all you guys who are actually on the live stream, let me just paste in my email address in here. Hey Mark, good to see you, and it's good to be back from vacation here. My mom visited me for a week from Denmark, so now I gotta get on a diet here. But yeah, it's good to be back and do these live streams. Is there anything you want to see in these live streams? If you're watching the recording, down in the description area, you will have my email address. Send me an email. If there's something, if you're in the live stream, just look in the chat and you will see it in there. This is about 15-20 minutes or so, chatting a little bit about Fusion 360 and the different topics that you guys would like to see me do. So let's talk about direct modeling a little bit here. Let's jump into where we really want to be, and that's Fusion. I just gotta find my mouse. There we go. All right, so now everybody should see that we are inside of Fusion 360, and yeah, let's just talk a little bit about direct modeling versus parametric modeling. So right now I have a document that's nothing in it. You can actually control in the settings if you want it to be direct or you wanted it to be standard parametric modeling. The first file I've opened here is what we will call standard parametric modeling. And the reason for that is you will see that down here in the bottom we have a history tree. If I roll all the way back, you can kind of like follow each step of how I modeled this part up. And this was just something I just kind of like modeled up without trying to be too fancy here. Now, what I did was, so that's what we call parametric modeling, right? We have a history tree. Everything is kind of like based on other things. So you can go in and you can change the sketch. So if I go in here and I for example, go into this sketch here, say edit sketch, we could, for example, change, the offset dimension here, make this 1 inch, and now when I get out of it, these 2 pockets here now got smaller, and I can go back and change it back. That's parametric modeling. That is what, I think most of us are kind of used to, and kind of, I would say that's what I use all the time is parametric modeling. So when do you start going to direct modeling? It was introduced, well, quite a while ago in kind of like the CAD industry. Solid Edge have something they call it synchronized technology. SolidWorks also have some in theirs, and it was when you start modeling without capturing this history tree. So when should you use it, when should you not use it? I mean, I know that everybody's case is a little bit different, and maybe that's what we can do with this live stream. If you have certain experiences, please put them, send me an email or something like that. Put them in the comments area if you're watching the recording or in the live chat right now. How, when should you use it, and how can you use it? Primarily, it's really good when you get imported parts. So when you're getting models from someone else, either as a other format, so you brought it in as a neutral, IGES, or step file, and that's maybe another topic we should talk about. What's the difference between ideas, step, parasolid, and all this stuff. Or if you're also, you can use it, I'm going to show you that, also if you're getting a parametric model from somebody else, but you got to make some changes. So let's get back into to the software here. So here is the model I just showed you. We got a parametric tree down at the bottom here. If I go to the next one, you will see it looks a little different. I don't have that history down in the bottom here. And you'll actually see, if you're looking at the color of the model, it actually looks a little different shade of gray too. That is because this is an imported model. That is what is called a step. And like I said, we can talk more about this if you're interested in learning more about the differences, ID step and all this. But literally what I literally did was I took this model, the one with the history tree, I saved it out of Fusion as a neutral format called step, and then I just brought it back into Fusion again. And what happens when you do that is that when you're saving out to neutral formats like step and IGES, you don't get the history tree with it. You just get what we call kind of like a dumb solid. So you don't have all those, the software can't bring in all the different features here. Now, so by default in Fusion, it comes in without the history tree. And this is what we call direct mode, because we don't have the history tree. Now we go back to the first part I opened up. This is a part that hasn't been saved. Literally file new. You will see that by default, it has the history tree down here. If I start sketching something, you will see that now I get the sketch down here. I'll get the extrude and all that. You can always switch from standard parametric modeling to direct modeling by right-clicking up here in the top component, and you can now say do not capture design history. I could actually go into that first model I have in here with all those things, and I can right-click up here and I can say do not capture design history. Now when you do that, you get a warning here that the timeline will be removed. So it says the timeline and all the design history will be removed, and further operation will not be captured in the timeline. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. What that means is that if you are in parametric mode where you're capturing all these different steps, if you go up and you right click and you go into direct mode, you will lose all those parametric steps. So you really got to think before you do that, but maybe you want to, but it's an option, right? So in this case here, I'm just going to say cancel and not do that for this model here. But that's really what happens in here. If I go in to the one with the history tree and I right click and say disregard or do not capture the design history, then you will pretty much end up with the same here. All right, so a lot of talking, really haven't done much to this model. Then I want to show you a couple of things where direct editing becomes really cool and really powerful. And there's two things that I think is really cool. That is the move command, and then it is your kind of delete function. Think of this direct editing mode as a way for you to quickly make certain design changes. Check this out. If I go in and I'm in the direct editing mode, so this was a part we had imported in. If I right click and I click the move copy tool, you can choose what you want to get. If you want to get components, bodies, faces. Now I'm going to select faces. If I go in here, and remember this is what we call a dumb solid that I could have brought in from another software. It could be from SolidWorks or Solid Ads or something else, maybe something I downloaded from somebody's site here. So I've selected all the faces of this handle here. Now we get this triad. Now you can actually go up here and set pivot move. And if you click on that, you can now control where you want that to snap to. So I'm going to just go down here and make sure I snap it right to the center of that rotation of this handle. I'm going to left click once. So now it's placed. Then remember this, because I will probably forget doing this tutorial. If you go over here, remember to go and click done when you're done with that, so you turn that off. Now check this out. I can literally go in and I can move that handle in whatever degree I want. That is really the great power of direct editing, is you can go in here and you can modify parts like this. Another thing is maybe you're getting an imported part where there's something you don't want. Now if I go in here and I select this face and I hit delete on my keyboard, it will delete that face down to where that was going to, what was the bottom of this face. Now if I go in here and I hold down control and I select all these faces that is inside of this pocket and I hit delete again, you will see that it literally removes it. So think about like you're getting a part with a bunch of holes and counterbores. You can literally go in here and just delete all those holes and counterbores with this feature. Now let me just do a undo here. I didn't want the handle, leave the handle a little bit out of the way. So pretty powerful that you can go in and move things like this. Now let's say that we wanted to move this inner rib here. A good technique for you to do is if you have any like fillets or chamfers on the model, if you're moving things like we just moved this handle, remember that the software has to calculate those. So even if I did go in here and right click and I maybe said I'm just going to move these two walls here, let's see what happens here. If I place this here, see how it will move that wall and it will adjust the fillets. What is pretty awesome that it will do that, but I actually would recommend, it can get a little hairy because the software has to calculate all those. Don't be shy to delete all those out of there first. I think that's a good practice. You can always reinsert them again, even in here in the direct mode. You can do all the same things as you can do inside of like standard. You can do extrudes and things like that. So with that one deleted, the fill is deleted. If I go back in here, select that face, and then I'm going to control where that triad's going to go from. So let me go to the top view and let's make sure we set it right there to the center there, right? We can click that. And this is why if you don't change this checkpoint, we could actually just corrugate where we want that that change to be. We can move this triad around wherever we kind of like want it. Whoops, but don't hit escape. I'm going to select this, go and select pivot. Let me do it again. So I'm just going to make sure that I select that center, right, snap it right there, uncheck the pivot rotation, and now you will see that I can literally move this wall. Now you will see that the software will cut through. You can see that it looks probably pretty crazy here on your screen. Now if I hit OK, you will see it actually will cut openings when it moves that long piece there. So that was maybe not what I wanted. Let me just undo that. I could go in here and just, let me go in and select these two faces, hit delete. So now it's deleted. Then I can go in here and right click and create a sketch, for example. And let me just hit the S key and let's go in and create some kind of a rectangle here. Let's just fully define it. Like that. Hit Q for extrusion. And I'm just gonna go up to object. Place it to there. So now we kind of like have something like the same thing what I did, just in another angle. Now we could go in and hit the move on that one. We could of course also have sketched it in an angle if we wanted to, but now I'm taking the lazy person's way, and now I can again move that out to whatever you want. So that's kind of like direct editing inside of this. Well, this is direct mode. This was the imported part, but it actually also works with direct editing, the parametric parts right in here too. There was nothing I just did that was kind of magic just for direct editing. But that's where I would say that you normally would use direct editing is inside like an imported parts. But you could do many of these things right inside of a parametric part too. It will just be recorded, right? I can absolutely go in here, parametric part, right click, hit the move copy command, select the faces, right? Now I can go in and select the exact same faces that I did with the handle before, like that. Again, I can set this pivot point to wherever we want, like that. And I can literally go in and do the same rotation as I did before. But what you will see is, of course, now down here, it's captured what, you might prefer, right? So that's kind of cool. Now, one thing that I think is very important to know, and this is hopefully maybe what kind of like sparks the volume 2 of this, if we want to get deeper into this, is that it can actually have a place with a standard parametric part where you decide to switch into to direct editing. So let me show you that. So this part, when I model up this part here, and of course you couldn't really follow me along there, but you will see that I kind of created a second component, right? So what I did was I modeled this up first, and then I decided to create another component down here, and inside of that component, I kind of created this shelf here. Now, if I go in and activate that component right here, you will see that if I go into the sketch, that what I did was I actually just offset the first body out a half an inch. So that means right now, if I need to make any changes to that second component, to this bottom piece here, if we're doing standard modeling, I'm kind of like tied in with how that sketch was offset from. I really hope this makes sense. The sketch we just looked at that forms this bottom piece was offset from this boundary right here. So if I had to make a change to this component, it could be kind of hard, right? I'm kind of limited to the sketch. Well, here's a really, what I think, awesome feature inside of Fusion. I can actually go in here right now and I can right click on this feature here, and right here you actually have an option say convert to direct editing feature. Direct editing mode, I guess DM stands for. And if I click on that, you will see that now we lost that sketch. But what I can do now is we can actually go in here and say move, and we can now go in and select these faces here, and we can literally now move that face back like this. And if I go out to the top one, right now, look how we changed that part without have to go in and mess with sketches and things like that. Now, of course, there's no really record of what we kind of did at this moment. But that is really, well, that's what I think is the power of direct editing, is that there's no captures of it. So if you go in and you go up to the top of the feature tree, you right click and you say do not capture design history. If you sketch a rectangle 1 inch by 1 inch, you extrude a body off of it. Now, if you start moving that body around, that sketch doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't rely to that part. And it's a little hard if you're doing a lot of parametric modeling like I do. You're like, but wait a minute, don't I want that control? Well, and that's where the power of direct editing gives you that option to go in and do those changes. So I really hope that this kind of gave you a little bit of insight into direct editing. I can't wait to jump into and chat with the 39 people watching the live stream here and see what they have to say about this direct modeling. But look at it as parametric modeling, where we create that sketch, we extrude, we create sketch planes, we extrude, fully define our sketches. It makes sense because we're kind of like building on everything, and everything is associated. We change one dimension, other dimension changes. Direct editing or direct modeling gives you that option to step outside of that and actually make some cool changes without have to worry about things in the back end blowing up. Now, of course, like I said, great with great powers come great responsibilities. You are, of course, losing the parametric. That's why you can't really do both without somehow interfering with stuff. So I really hope that this little video was helpful. It's good to be back from vacation. I am traveling the next couple of days, so there's not going to be any other live stream, but I promise that I will come back. If you want to see something on this live stream, if you want to jump into the debate about direct modeling, send me an email. Look down in the description area, lars.christensen@autodesk.com. I take other topics we can talk about here on the live stream. So I'm going to do like I'm normally doing. If you're watching the recording, I'm going to end the broadcast, but I'm going to jump into the live stream chat here and just spend the next couple of minutes chatting with everybody and see what everybody has to say about this direct modeling mode. Hope this was super helpful, super good to be back. Really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. And until the next time, have an awesome, awesome day.